background is as a multidisciplinary artist and musician. And I came to film a little later as I was creating shorts for my exhibitions, and then that just started to grow. And my interest got stronger and stronger, and I realized I wanted to direct and do cinematography. How about you?
I started when I was pretty much like a preteen, going to acting school. From there I got into like a lot of special effects and horror movies in high school, which led me to working for the New York City Horror Film Festival, which opened a lot of great doors for me. From there I went to Brooklyn College and got my degree in documentary production, and I've been working in production for the past 10 years. Oh, wow.
Wow.
And we wound up working together because I was bartending at an Italian restaurant in Brooklyn, and Alexis was just getting into shooting on her iPhone, and it went from that to the Black Magic, and from that to us shooting together for the first time.
Right, exactly. And I would come and bother you while you were working.
Totally fine.
Every night, and ask questions, just simple questions that most people didn't know that I didn't. And so it was really amazing, and then our rapport really started, and we realized we also loved the same movies. We had a really similar style, we're interested in similar music, so it just kind of made sense that we would end up working together. Oh, and then I asked you on a shoot that I was asked to do a fashion shoot. That was quite a difficult one, in fact, and we're not going to go into too many details, but it was a little bit wild, and I knew I needed help, and I asked Adam to come shoot with me, and so we actually shared my camera, which was the first time we shot together, and it was actually this incredible experience of moving the camera back and forth, finding the right angles, finding the colors, finding the mood, finding the movement, but together. And that was an amazing experience, though perhaps the shoot wasn't. So we linked then and realized, okay, we can work together.
What do you think of the space between video art and short film?
That's it. It's a great question, but I think that in a way, I think cinema can walk the pathway between both of those very easily and very readily. And my favorite films are ones that employ this kind of video art element, which is maybe, you and I've talked about this, but elements of abstraction, elements of narrative and non-narrative, a real attention to the visual. So concepts of cinematography for me are extremely important in that I trained as a painter, so I think as a painter. I think of light and composition as a painter, color, excuse me, even movement. And so for me, that's the art language, the video art language that ends up becoming part of the cinematic language and the film. So I think the two move back and forth. I don't know if there's really just an in-between space. I think they move back and forth in the best time.
Yeah,
what do you think?
Like a Venn diagram, where like you could have something that's totally narrative, totally not narrative, but then in the middle you have this space where everyone just kind of hangs around. It's a little bit of A, a little bit of B.
We're the in-between.
Yeah. Like when people come up and say what they got out of one of our shorts, one person could have one interpretation of it, someone else could have completely different, and they're both completely correct. Mm-hmm. And that's my favorite part about doing that non-narrative structure, where people could really take from it what they want. Much like when you go to a gallery and you see a beautiful painting that, maybe an abstract painting, and it can evoke one emotion for me, and it can evoke an entirely different emotion for you, and all those emotions are totally valid.
Yeah.
And I think that it's the same in any kind of medium, whether it's
music,
yeah, professional wrestling,
yeah,
short films, experimental films,
Well, I think film becomes art, art becomes film.
Yeah.
And I believe that, the way that Adam and I work together is really striving for that. We want our films to be films, but we want them to be artful. Yeah. And we want our art pieces to be cinematic. So I think, on and on and on, we're trying to create that bridge.
That's a great way to put it. Which brings us to our last question. What are you working on? And what's coming up that you're excited about? Any shout outs?
We have shout outs, but we're going to wait to the end. Well, Adam and I are both working together on a piece called Death and the Butcher that was commissioned by Leo Kolob's collection.
Thank you, Leo.
Thank you for Digital Fairy Tales. So we're really, really excited to premiere that piece on the Manhattan Bridge, which is iconic and amazing and the perfect example of cinema and architecture blending perfectly and beautifully. And that is a piece based on a 19th century German folktale. So we're really speaking about that kind of liminal space, the in-between concepts and art and film. I think that piece is the perfect example.
Yes.
That's really what we're working on that one. Oh, and it's also featuring choreography and dancing by Rachel Francis and Joe Mercado. And they brought this gravitas and beauty to the characters that is just stunning, quite breathtaking. And our friend Vig, who is with Kavi Productions, did the color, and it's just the most beautiful color, very painterly. So
Josh Salon.
yeah, Josh Salon for sound.
Absolutely, Salon Sound. It's a
So-
big shout out. Thank you, Josh, for everything.
Yes. So that's one major piece that we've just completed. Yes. And we are actually going to be, well, now we're also working on your film, Kilo. Well, you're in post-production.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, we're just finishing up post-production on my short horror film, Kilo. It's about a pillow that eats people.
Yay. And
Alexis,
I was granted the honor of doing cinematography.
Absolutely, yeah. It's
It's one of my favorite
It's gonna
pieces.
be
That's when I knew I could work with you, but I knew in Kilo that we were gonna have a long history of working together.
yeah.
And it was just like, you have those moments where you're filming and there's like an eyeball floating at you, and then there's blood all over your glasses, and you realize this is great.
Yeah.
This is film.
Yeah.
I like this.
Yeah. It's always a good day.
It's
You
a
have
good
to take a red shower at the end.
It's a really good day.
What else are we working on?
That's genius. Oh, and then we have a feature that we're filming together in January called The Apartment that I co-wrote with Justin DiCarlo, who wrote a book of the same name, The Apartment. Really beautiful story. And the general story is that it takes place in Brooklyn neighborhood, and it's a story of this gentleman who is in the character, a low-end gambler whose apartments begins to turn into a forest. So we never really know if it is in his head, if it's real, but I'm going to shoot it like fantastic realism, documentary style, pretty gritty. So if you kind of think like Cassavetes meets, let's think of a jungle, The Mission.
Oh boy.
Yeah, or something like that. Those are my, we have to have these idols. And anyway, so I'm super excited because we're working on that together, and Adam is the lead, and it's a really one character driven story more than anything. It's a very physical piece as well. So that's what we're working on. And then I think we just talked about maybe doing another piece, right?
Yeah, always.
Yeah.
But for The Apartment, it's going to be exciting for me to act again. I haven't really acted in a large capacity in a long time. So I think that's going to be a lot of fun, and there's really no one that I'd feel more comfortable doing that with than Alexis. So yeah,
It'll
those
be
are a
fun
lot
for
of
me to have a
things,
chance to direct you now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of fun things coming up. And thank you for being interested in all of them and any of them.
It's so true. And one of the major shout outs that we do have is for Leo Kolob.
Absolutely.
Yeah, who through the Leo Kolob's collection has created Digital Fairy Tales, has also created Lightyear, in which we're able to actually do these installation and projection on the Manhattan Bridge. And that is really one of the most amazing, unique, artistic and cinematic possibilities that I've ever had.
Oh, as a Brooklyn boy, it doesn't get any better than that. Like, I'm over the moon. Thank you, Leo, and everybody
Thank
involved.
you. Other shout out, Josh Salon on sound, because we always work with him and he's amazing.
Absolutely.
Vig Rajendran from Kavi Productions for color, because he's just exquisite. Also Patrice Bowman of Bowman Pictures,
That's right.
who did color for us for another movie, Visitant, which was beautiful. Rachel Francis, being one of the ultimate muses of ours, and yours especially, and a gorgeous dancer and choreographer, as is Joe Mercado, who we also just worked with in our last piece.
Yeah,
and
they're also amazing.
Yeah, so we're really the real,
Yeah,
your
we're very
family,
lucky.
my family.
Yeah, it's a family affair. It's a neighborhood affair, and
It is.
we're just happy to put it out there.
Yeah, thank you so much for this opportunity.
Thank you.